Hello everyone, that manga kid here. This week I'm going to be participating in Laura's video series that she does, the Manga Mondays, over on her channel Manga Hoarder. This week's topic is Josei manga. I don't have a lot of Josei manga, and unfortunately not a lot of Josei manga gets published here in the first place, but I do have a few that I wanted to just quickly talk about. I'm sure that a lot of these are going to be repeated and or have been talked about in the past by a lot of other YouTubers, but hopefully there might be something new here. So I'll start off with All My Darling Daughters by Fumi Yoshinaga. This is a short story collection that is focusing. It starts out with one character, and then it kind of branches out, and each short story is slightly connected to the one before it. So you kind of see the same characters in each short story briefly. So it's not just completely separate random stories. It all kind of interconnects in some way. And it's just really, really nice stories about like mother-daughter relationships, about different scenarios where women are the focus. There's some childhood female friend stories. There's some arranged marriages. There's a one about a sexual relationship. It's all kind of women in their late 20s, 30s, some in their 40s, who are just kind of navigating being a woman. And it's really, really, really interesting. It's really nice. The stories, like I said, kind of all flow together. The art is very much Fumi Yoshinaga art, beautiful color pages. Yeah, it's just really, really nice. And I like short story collections, and because it's just one volume, it's very easy to get into. Next, got In Clothes Called Fat by Moyoko Ano. This one, I'm sure that you've seen around at least because of this cover. This is a fairly newer release, and this one is about a woman who is, she feels like her boyfriend hates her now because she's gotten bigger. She thinks that she's fat and she needs to lose weight, so she goes to this like health clinic thing that claims to help you lose weight, but it kind of seems a little sketchy. And it's just about her navigating kind of an eating disorder and trying to get thin, as well as kind of the other characters in her, other people in her life who all have their own opinions of her based on her weight. So I'm going to try and find some pages that do not have that are not sexually explicit. Well, first of all, the color pages in the front are really, really nice. And this one is not a fun one to read because these characters are not good people. Um, None of them are. They're all really, really horrible characters, even the main girl. It's just not, it's not something you want to read to feel good. It is I think it's a good social commentary on how we view weight as a society. But it's not something to make you feel good at all. I really love the art though, and this cover is kind of what drew me to the story in the first place. Again, just a one volume series, not that big a commitment. I think the art itself is intriguing enough to pick it up. And the story was good, it just wasn't, it's not likable, which isn't the point of it, so it's fine. Another one with some unlikable characters is Pink by Kyoko Okazaki. This is the author who also wrote Helter Skelter, Fashion Unfriendly, which I did like better, but I don't own that one. I read it from the library. This one is about this woman here who is a sex worker in order to pay for her consumer lifestyle, but also to help feed her pet alligator or crocodile. And so she has this pet crocodile, and it needs to eat a lot of meat, otherwise it will try and eat people. So she is a sex worker in order to pay for the large amount of meat that she has to purchase every day to feed her crocodile. So it kind of goes into her relationship with her stepmother and her younger sister, um, and kind of just like her love life and everything, trying to navigate um, yeah, just her life as a sex worker, and then also having her pet alligator being a not likable person. Um, she's not really likable at all. Uh, and if you've read anything by Kyoko Okazaki, then you're not surprised by this interesting style of artwork. Um, if it's something that you don't like, I wouldn't suggest picking this up because the artwork can be very distracting uh, if you're not used to it. I find it to be interesting and different, and I like it. I would say if you're going to read anything by Kyoko Okazaki, to start with Helter Skelter Fashion Unfriendly, which I did, and then I got this one. This one's good, and I liked it, but I think that Helter Skelter was better. I just don't own that, so I can't show you that one. But this one is pretty good as well. Next, Utsubora, which I'm not going to talk a lot about because if I did, I would spoil it. Also, lots of other people have talked about Utsubora um, at length. So, yeah, this is kind of a mystery. It deals with plagiarism and uh, missing people and like a mysterious circumstance. And there is a lot of explicit sexual content in this. I'm trying to find somewhere not sexual. Um, there's some of the artwork. It's really, really pretty. This is by Asamiku Nakamura. Um, I really, really hope that we'll get some more um, of her stuff because this was really good, and I know of some of her other titles, and I would really love to read them. But unfortunately, this and then one short story in Parasite F, the short story collections of the shoujo Parasite stuff, that has one of her stories in it. But other than that, I don't think anything else by her is in English. So I hope in the future we get more stuff. But yeah, definitely pick this up if you like kind of mystery stuff and like Josei, because this is a really, really good one. I just can't really talk much about it without giving anything away. And this is quite a thick volume too. Also just one all in one. So one purchase for quite a thick amount of content. And the final thing that I recommend is Paradise Kiss. This is by Ai Yazawa, same person who did Nana. So if you've read Nana and love Nana and have not read Paradise Kiss, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I watched Paradise Kiss before I watched Nana, and then I read Nana from the library, and then I bought Paradise Kiss, the manga. So I did actually consume the content of Paradise Kiss before Nana. Um, and this is an older series than Nana. She wrote this before that. So, um, yeah. But anyway, this is the vertical reprint of Paradise Kiss. It was originally printed and released by Tokyopop in two different editions. Unfortunately, out of print, and I haven't been able to pick those up. I would much prefer to have the purple Tokyopop editions because I love the covers. But currently, I could only get my hands on the vertical editions. So these are 3 volumes. They were originally released in 5 volumes, so they have kind of split them up, I guess, evenly into 3 as opposed to releasing 5 volumes again. But this is about this girl here. I believe she's in her last year of high school. She's um, not necessarily a perfect student, but she's doing really well. Her parents have high expectations for her. They want her to pick at college, get on it kind of thing. You're almost done high school. You need to start really getting into what you're going to do in the future. And she's kind of at a crossroads. Like she doesn't understand what she wants to do with her life. She's bored of school. She's tired. She doesn't care anymore, but she understands the pressure that she's under. And she ends up meeting these students from a fashion high school, and they are training to be designers. They're designing their own fashion lines while they're in high school, and so she gets in with that crowd and becomes a model with them, and learns that she wants to do modeling, and so that she's trying to um, convey this to her family, but not in a very mature way because she's still a teenager, and is kind of dealing with falling in love with this guy who's so different from anything she's ever been around before. And these students are all so like, there's George there, the love interest. These students are so different from what she's ever experienced, and she's just having fun while also being like, how can people live like this? How can you um, follow your dreams and passions? Like, why don't you all have to get boring office jobs like I'm expected to? And it's really, really fun. It's got that same bit of humor, but also seriousness that Nana has, and it's just a really, really good series. And it's much shorter. Nana's obviously over 20 volumes, but this is 5 volumes of content released in 3 volumes by Vertical, and it's really, really good. It does have a bit of sex in it, which I find to be really great because it is very realistic of a 18-year-old kind of relationship. Um, that it's not childish at all. It is very much like these are teenagers. There's hormones. There's angst. There's like, I don't want to listen to my parents. I don't want to, I want to do my own thing, while also having that feeling of like, what do I want to do with my life? I'm feeling stuck. I'm feeling lost. So if you're around that age, if you're a young adult, like, this is such a great series. Um, the characters are wonderful. It's just so fun. It's so much fun, and I highly recommend reading Paradise Kiss if you haven't already. It's got that same Ayazawa charm that Nana does, just in a shorter series and a different topic. It doesn't deal with music, it deals with fashion and modeling. So, yeah, I highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. It is really, really fun. So that's all I've got for Josei manga. This is a bit of a longer video than I thought it would be. But yeah, if you've read any of these titles or want to read any of these titles, definitely let me know in the comments. Yeah, thanks for watching.